Hello everybody, it's me, the ItalianGamerJoe, and welcome to a new stream. Tonight, we are going to start off the night with something pretty basic, and then after this stream, I will be playing Nancy Drew Secrets Can Kill Remastered. So, sit tight for a moment as I copy and paste my self-promotion. Hope you're all having a great evening. Hope it's nice and relaxing. Hope your Monday was pretty good. Hey everyone, time for some game dev. Part 1. Okay, so for the game development stream that I'm doing tonight, it's going to be very, very basic. Like extremely overview, extremely high level, nothing crazy at all. This is going to be an overview of the game engine that I will be developing with in the coming weeks when I start preparing for you my assets and my work for the point-and-click engine that I'm going to make. I bet a lot of you are wondering, ItalianGamerJoe, why aren't you playing a game tonight? Why aren't you... And I'm playing Nancy Drew Secrets Can Kill Remastered after this, but tonight I wanted to share with you something special that I'm going to be doing over the next several weeks, potentially months. I know a lot of you in the community, especially in my community, are big Nancy Drew fans. Like, we got some big Nancy Drew fans in my community. And a lot of you are fans in a way that not only do you like, playing the Nancy Drew games, but some of you are really creative people. We got artists, we got actors, we got music production, we got some developers, we got some really motivated, ambitious, creative people, we got writers, we got so many awesome people in the community. And I consider myself a developer. I'm a software engineer, went to school for it, and game development is one of my many passions. And I thought, how cool would it be to not just be able to play games on Twitch, but also stream game development trainings for those online that want to dip their toes in game development. And one of the goals that I've decided to do is that I'm going to start streaming tutorials on how to make your very own video game. In particular, the game will be Nancy Drew type games. So the type of game that I'm going to be starting to teach is how to make your very own point-and-click adventure game, how to make your very own Nancy Drew first-person point-and-click adventure game. And I'm hoping that by the end of these trainings that you will have the tools you need to make your own type of first-person point-and-click experience. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you, tonight I'm going to be showing you an overview of the Construct 3 game engine, which is the game engine we're going to be using. And over the next several weeks to months, you're gonna learn. I'm gonna show you all how to, for example, in Nancy Drew games, how to navigate between scenes, how to go from point A to point B to point C, how to make the cursor change into an arrow. If you're using a magnifying glass, how to make the magnifying glass turn red when something looks fancy. How to put an object in from the environment into your inventory, and how to use that object in the environment. How to talk to characters and how to create conversations, how to create puzzles, how to use items on your environment with objects to make new things happen, save and load systems, how to do voice work, how to do music, how to incorporate those into your games. Some really cool stuff that I'm going to teach you that's going to be really fun and really exciting. And I'm really hoping that by the end of these tutorials that you will have, like I said, the tools that you need to succeed to making your very own detective mystery game. And we can continue, perhaps you want to make your own fan-made Nancy Drew spinoff. Perhaps you want to make your own fan-made Nancy Drew adventure. Maybe, for example, you want to use, a screenshot of the Nancy Drew engine, and you want to make a fan-made game that doesn't have anything to do with the games, but it's something different. And it's free. You're just having fun with it. Or maybe you want to make your own spin-off. You want to make your own system, make your own detective mystery game, and that's point and click. The world is your oyster, and I'm just giving you the tools you need to be able to make effective, fun games like this. I'm aware that streaming a game development course on Twitch is probably not the most exciting thing to do right now, and you're welcome to lurk. You're welcome to. I'm very well aware of that, and if you would like to lurk and just watch my stream, I appreciate that. This will also be on YouTube, so if you miss any of this, you're welcome to watch it on YouTube. I'm also streaming Nancy Drew tonight, so please come back within the next hour. I'll be streaming Nancy Drew. So tonight I'm going to get started by showing you all the engine that I will be using to create a point-and-click adventure game. The engine that I decided to work with is called Construct 3. Construct 3 is a UK-made engine, and apparently they have over 180,000 users monthly, and big companies have used this engine, like EA, Sega, NGA, I don't know how to say that, and King. This is a little preview of what the engine looks like. If you scroll down a little bit, they tell you that they have like a visual scripting engine, so you don't even have to do actual programming. The entire engine is like a drag and drop interface. Which in my opinion, I decided to use this engine for my tutorials to show you, because you don't even have to know a lick of programming. You don't have to know any coding. As long as you know how a system or an object should work, it should be pretty simple to get the ball rolling and jump right in. There is minor coding you might have to learn, but honestly, if you're making a simple point-and-click game, there's not really much coding you have to do in these scenarios here, and I'm excited to use this engine because it's a very casual game engine to get the ball rolling. A lot of the components and tools are already pre-programmed, so if you wanted to make like a Nancy Drew experience, it's actually really fun and really easy to do with Construct 3. So visual scripting with this engine is actually very, very simple and very fun to use. I actually have joy when I create games in Construct 3 because of how easy it is and how pre-built a lot of these tools are. Out of the box, Construct 3 is very powerful. And yeah, I mean, it's really cool. You can publish your games and sell them anywhere. If you make a Construct game, you can develop it for PC, for Mac, for iOS, for Android. You can even publish web games online if you can do web games. Construct does not support consoles like Switch, Xbox, or PS4, PS5. However, there are companies out there that are not affiliated with Construct that take Construct games and will wrap the game around their own engine, and then you can actually put those games on Switch, PS5, Xbox. So while Construct does not natively support exports to consoles, there are companies out there that will take your game and they will make it compatible with consoles. Does that cost a little bit extra? Yes, but as long as you fulfill the requirements those companies ask for, they will take your game and they'll make it for consoles. Let's see. The games support graphics and animations and all those things, so it's very, very possible to have some really fun, deep games. There's a lot that you can do with Construct. It's a very, very cool system. It's a very cool engine. Construct has they even have a showcase on their website, which they show off different games that they've made. These are just some games on their site. Cartoon Network has some games that they made with Construct 3. The Old Guard is a game that's apparently from Netflix's The Old Guard, so even Netflix works with Construct 3. Cartoon Network worked with them. Mighty Goose is a game. It looks really cute. Small Saga. This is a game about a rat that's fighting a cat, I guess. It was $50,000 raised on Kickstarter. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Guinea PG Parkour. So as you can see here, a lot of these games were made with Construct 3 and they were raised on Kickstarter, which is insane. Football Dash, Mobs Inc. So I'm not really familiar with these games, but I can just tell how cute they look. Creature Keeper. Oh my gosh, 50,000 raised on Kickstarter. That's insane. Absolutely insane. I gotta check out these games. There is no game these are a lot of games that are just smaller games that were made on Construct, but that really made it, that really are fun, and there's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, there's a lot you can do with Construct. There's a lot you can explore with these games. It's so cool seeing the creativity of the community and There's a lot. There's a Discord community for Construct where people can learn and ask questions. There's so much to this engine. It's really, really cool. Construct is a browser-based engine, by the way, so you do need an internet connection. Apparently it will work offline, but all you really need is a Chrome browser. As long as you have Google Chrome browser, you can run Construct just fine. Apparently it also runs on like Windows, Macs, Linux, Chromebooks, so it's a very, very, it's a very easy engine to use because you're not even installing anything. You just load it in the browser, which makes it really convenient. There's not like necessarily a 3D version. However, Construct does support 3D assets, and they're trying to make their way into the 3D space. But right now, it's primarily a 2D engine. Let's see what else. There also are extensions and add-ons, and there's a whole asset store and everything. So there's a lot too. Construct has a free version, which is pretty limited in what you can do. You don't have total control over like how many events you can put into your game, but you can try it for free. There is an educational license, which is I think free if you have like a university that you're a part of. There's business plans, and finally individual plans. There is a $16.49 a month plan. Minimum 1 month, no commitment, so it's just monthly, and if you're done with it, it just expires. And then there's the $99 per year plan. I do the $99 per year plan because I do develop with Construct a lot. However, there's also a free edition where you don't pay anything. You only get 50 events, and then a maximum of 2 layers. Our games that we're going to be making, I'm hoping that we'll be able to stick to the 50 maximum events. I'll probably try to keep it like at the 50 mark. If I don't, then I'll try to figure out a way so that we can create a new project that doesn't have that 50 mark. But if you're going to be creating these games with me, you could probably get away with the free version for now. For now, you could probably get away with the free version. Since I'm not going to be doing one big project, I'm going to be doing like a bunch of smaller projects that you yourself could probably build into a bigger project if you decide to do the 16 or the 99 a year. That's totally up to you. The game Construct, I did not mention this, but Construct also supports JavaScript, so if you are a developer yourself, you actually can use JavaScript to code your games. You can write into separate files, and it supports JavaScript natively, so you can easily write JavaScript into your games. Let's see. The free version lets you publish to iOS and the Construct Arcade, but the full version lets you publish to desktop, Android, iOS, and then of course like anywhere else. And so on and so forth. So there's a lot you get for all this. Construct, what makes it really cool is that you get 100% of the any monetary stuff you get from it, which is kind of cool too. And yeah, let's see what else is there. Can I show you before we jump in? There is an asset store for Construct, so if you are not an artist and you're looking for like a user interface for your game or some cool assets like a cave runner or like some cards if you're making a card game, or planes or buttons or something, these are commercial assets that you can use and buy for your own game, like top-down racing where they sell race cars, jewels if you're making like a bejeweled kind of game, creatures that glow. There's so many assets you can buy and purchase on the Construct asset store that you can use for your commercial or free games. There's even books, tutorials, graphics, animations. There's so much. There's themes. There's entire game projects that you can even buy. It's really convenient and really easy to do. When you buy these, they include like little they're basically just zip files that just have all the assets built into them. So it's cool seeing this level of like there's even a trading card game one. Like that's crazy. I mean, there's so many cool assets you can buy on the asset store. There's free ones as well. There's even little systems you can buy as well. Like if you don't like the systems that I make, you can probably find your own little assets, like a Christmas adventure or like a Candy Blast. There's so much you can find and buy and explore with this. I mean, you'll probably, like if you explore this asset store and look for a few assets, you might have so much fun exploring these assets these little games that what you could do is, if you really like them, you can keep the system, but then replace all the assets with your own artwork. So there's a lot you can actually do here with the asset store. And these are just developers like me that create stuff and could just put them on the store to sell. Lucky for you, this tutorial is free. But I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to do this and show you all some cool stuff and the world of game development. The Construct website also has a learning documentation section where if you want to look at the documentation side of things, this is a full manual. It'll show you how to get started, and it'll show you running Construct as an app, working offline, and so on and so forth. The overview, the interface. We're actually going to run through this together tonight. We're not going to do anything too crazy tonight. Tonight's going to be just a very surface level. And yeah, I mean, there's tips and tricks. There's so many cool things you can learn from the documentation section of the site. As far as community goes, there's an online forum that you can go to that you can post. You can create an account and post your own questions, which is really convenient. What else is there? There's the arcade where you can upload your games to the Construct community and actually play games that others have made. There's blogs, there's a Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit community for Construct. There's also a Discord community, which is not linked here, but Construct also has their own Discord community where you can ask questions, meet new friends, post and share your games, get questions. They even have live scenarios where you can show off your stuff live. The staff is very, very active on the Discord. It's so cool seeing a game developing community where the staff is so active. The team at Construct is just such a cool team out there, and seeing how active the staff is with their community of developers is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Construct 3 is a very, very powerful engine, and it's so nice seeing just how active the community is, seeing how close-knit the developers are with their users, and it's exciting. It's really nice to see an engine and a team that really does believe in their developers. So this is Construct 3, and I'm really excited to be able to start these tutorials, start these projects, and be able to show you how to make your very own Nancy Drew point-and-click mystery game. Well, not necessarily Nancy Drew, but just your own opportunity to be able to make your own point-and-click mystery game. Mitra just raided with a party of 2. How's it going, Mitra? I think you were playing Dead by Daylight earlier. Or no, it wasn't Dead by Daylight. It was LA Noire. You were playing LA Noire tonight. Well, for those of you that are here, definitely check out Mitra. She's an awesome streamer, and she plays Dead by Daylight, LA Noire. Check out her content. She's great, and she's a moderator in my community, so definitely, give her content a follow. She's awesome. Anyway, back to the tutorial for Construct 3. For those of you that are coming in, I'm ItalianGamerJoe. I play a variety of games, but I also am starting to do some game development. I'm showing you, my viewers tonight, how to be able to make their own video games. If you are ever interested in video game development, or you're interested in the potential of making your own games, for example, like Nancy Drew, if you want to make your own mystery, Construct 3 is a great place to start because you don't even have to know any coding at all to be able to jump into game development like this. As I've said before, Construct 3 is a visual scripting engine, which means you don't even have to know any lines of code as long as you know basic logic, like how to get from point A to point B to point C. It's very, very easy to program in Construct, and for what the money that you pay monthly or by the year, a lot of these assets, a lot of these systems are built out of the box, so you're ready to go to start making a game from the moment you purchase the software. However, there is some hoops you have to jump through, and I'm hoping that through my trainings I can show you all how to make a really cool point-and-click mystery game and have fun with it. For the last 20 minutes or so, I've been kind of showing off what the engine, showing off what this engine can do. But we haven't actually launched it yet. So my plan is to kind of go in and launch Construct and finally, show you a little bit behind the scenes, how the engine works, but it's only going to be very surface level. Tonight, we're only doing surface level stuff. So nothing too crazy, nothing too intense. You're welcome to purchase the engine or you can download the free version. Construct 3 is free. You're welcome to, download it and check it out yourself. It is a browser-based engine, so if you have Chrome, you can just run it on your Chrome browser. I'm talking so much. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. So I'm going to go ahead and launch Construct 3. You need a Construct 3 account in order for it to work. This is what Construct 3 looks like when you launch it. So as you can see here, it opened up a new tab, and we can either click New Project, Cloud, or File. I can store my projects in the cloud, which includes OneDrive, Google Drive, and so on and so forth. File means I save my files to my computer. As you can see here on the left, there is some really, really cool stuff. When you launch Construct 3, there are game demos. These are full demo games that you can play. So for example, if I do Kiwi Story and preview it, it's loading right now. Let's see if it opens. I don't know if you can all hear it, but this is a game that I just opened up that's free, and I can play it. How do I play it? Press arrow keys and Z. Okay. So as you can see here, I'm actually playing one of the games, and it's kind of small. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. Maybe I'll make it full screen. As you can see, I'm actually playing the game. It's a little bit slow because I think I'm streaming a screen within a screen within a screen. It's not supposed to be this slow, but this is a full-length game that I can play, and what I can do is I can either preview it or I can open the actual project. If I open the project, it'll open the full version of the game, and it will also show all the code and all the assets you need to make your own platformer. Demon Noir, it's like LA Noir. Demon Noir is it's like a Zelda-based game with hearts and a fighting combat system. What's cool about this one is that I can actually preview this as well. I think they're a little bit slow right now since I'm streaming, and I'm streaming within a screen within a screen within a screen, so they're kind of slower right now. But this is like a top-down Zelda-based game where I can dash, I can attack and stuff. There's even a merchant system where you can go and purchase stuff. So there's a lot you can do here with a game like this. And that entire game, you can preview it, and you can also open the project and look at all the code and look at every step that they did to make that game possible, to make that game work. So cool, and you get all of this for free, but then you also get all of this as well included in your $16 or $99 package. Here's another one, Glow Card. This is like a Galaga kind of game where you use a ship to shoot enemies, and it's really cute. They even have the set, they even have the Star Wars looking thing with a game by this. It's kind of cool. It makes me really happy to see the amount of passion they have. This music is popping. I like it. Press space to go to space. Oh my god. Press space to go to space. But look at the amount of it's it reminds me of something you'd see on SNES. They even have the story and everything. It's really, really cute. And someone actually took the time to develop this and make a little story out of it. They even did music fade in and fade out. They did the transitions. They even added all this stuff to it. It's really, really clever and creative. They even have enemy projectiles. It's really cute. So let's say, for example, you wanted to design your own Nancy Drew point and click game, and you wanted to have an arcade game within your game. You could take this game, change the assets out, and basically program your own glow car basically. There's even a Pop Lab the game. So there's so many little demos you can do that's included in what you're downloading and paying for, and you can open all these projects and you can look at the code, dissect them. You can even change the code and make it so that you have more than one life, or that you're invincible, or you can just change and do whatever you want. It's really, really cool. If you go to templates are not full games. These are just templates. So they're cookie cutter packages that you can preview, but then also open, and you can replace all the assets with your own and look at the code. So for example, if you like Bomberman, there's a 4-direction bomber. There's an alien invasion game. There's an asteroid shooter. There's car lanes where you have a car lane game and use the keyboard to switch lanes and dodge traffic. There's a memory match game, a driving game, a Pac-Man game, an endless runner, Tetris, Flappy Bird, a helicopter game, a gamepad twin stick shooter, golf, Gravityless Labyrinth, doodle jump, inverted gravity, a jigsaw puzzle, ladder climbing, monk fighting, on the rails shooter, physics catapults like Angry Birds, physics soccer, platformers, snake, spot the difference, quiz, racetrack, real-time strategy, slider puzzles, tile-based games, top-down shooters, turret defenses, vertical. There's so many templates in here where you can literally just open the project and replace them with your own assets and then build upon them, add more to it. And it's so cool because if you like what you see, you can basically have fun with it and just, learn from these projects and make your own little Nancy Drew puzzles, or learn from these projects and make your own little adventure game. I mean, they even gave you a slide puzzle. I mean, you can basically make a slide puzzle in your game, in your little Nancy Drew spin-off, and it's ready to go. Or you can make your own driving game if you want to do a 3D version. Platformers, snake, physics puzzles. There's so much you can do. It's crazy. Jigsaw puzzles. The jigsaw puzzle is actually really cool. I'm gonna show it real quick. The way they made it work is that you drag a piece and then it fits in like this. And the way they programmed it is that you don't have to rotate the pieces. They automatically turn over. I think that's really cool what they did here. And then you have to fix the pieces. Very clever what they did here. But this is ready to go. So if you wanted to make your own Nancy Drew game, you could take this template and you can replace it with your own jigsaw puzzle and put it in your game. So the puzzles are basically ready. I mean, you could basically make your own little spin-off Nancy Drew game and use the construct engine. God, I'm talking so much. I'm running out of breath. What else can I show you? Beginner examples. So all the examples are not games at all. These are like solutions to solving a code problem. For example, Ghost Shooter 3D is a new thing they added. 8-direction behavior. What else? They added these are physics. Physics is a hard concept to grasp in game development because it involves math. So this is the construct team saying here, let us fix your math problems if you're not good at math. They also added gamepad control, so if you want to use your game with a controller, instance variables. Let's see. Let's say you want to make a game where you want your character to move to that position when you click on the mouse. This shows you how to do that. Explosions with particles, water effects, artificial intelligence. How to make a game that saves a game, simple lighting. If you want to create a game with a flashlight effect, you can do that with this. There's even there's even calculator based things. If you want to make it a simple conversation system, this is the wait action, taking screenshots. There's so many cool things you can learn here. Let's see, audio effects, the audio player, positioning. Oh, block breaking. They even show that. Bouncy ball. These are all new ones that I've never seen before. Oh my gosh, a car selection screen. Okay, I have to see this. I'm totally geeking out right now. I have to see this. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. And they even make it look 3D. That is so cool. I'm so impressed by this. Wow, that is so cool. I'm so impressed. And that's the whole project. That was the whole project. It was just a car selection screen that was super stylized. And they basically rotate the cars, and then they make it look like the room is moving by cycling the wall behind it. That is so clever. Oh my god. So clever. Ceiling traps, charge shots, clear pipes. It's so cool. It's so cool seeing what you can do with Construct. Dungeon crawlers. Oh my gosh, what's this? This is new. I know, I'm sorry. I'm totally geeking out right now because I've never seen this. Wow. They even added a dungeon crawler. This is really cool. I mean, the amount of creativity you can do with this game is with this engine is absolutely insane. I mean, there's so much you can do here. They even had a dynamic camera system. I wonder how this works. Use the arrow keys to find the magic key. Okay, so they added a camera that can move dynamically, where it either it either moves with the player or it moves on its own like that. That is so cool. So there's a lot you can do here in Construct. Advanced examples, a 3D castle maze. This I've never seen before. They've been playing around with 3D a lot lately, and I'm not sure how the 3D works, but it's super slow right now because like I said before, I'm kind of like displaying in my browser, so it's a little bit harder, but that is really, really impressive. I'm really impressed with what they did there. Coded panels for Nancy Drew type games. Once again, there's so much. They even did like languages. So if you want to make your game in a different language, you can actually load up languages from another file. I mean, that is so impressive. So like I said, there's so much you can learn and do with Construct, and they put it all in here for you. You can make your own Minesweeper. You can do multiplayer games that are online, a plumber puzzle. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Rhythm games. You can even make your own Rhythm Guitar Hero game. That is new. That is totally new. Oh my gosh, I've never seen this before. And they even, oh my god, you can do your own rhythm game. Like, you can make your own, you can make a game that's literally just your favorite songs, and then you make your own rhythm experience. I mean, how cool is that? And you can download this package, replace the songs, use the same assets, and basically just make your own rhythm game. Like, if you have like a project you want to give to a partner or to a parent or to a friend, like, you could literally make a game like this and give it to a friend or to a partner and be like, happy birthday or Merry Christmas, or look at the game I made for you. And you can literally make you can use this template and make your own rhythm game. Like, this Construct 3 makes it so easy to be able to make games. And it's so impressive. It's so impressive. I mean, stealth games, tile map switching. Yeah, I'm impressed with how much they've actually have done with this. This is insane. And then of course, like, scripting, they show you how to do JavaScript code. And yeah, that's pretty much like the gist of what this screen is. So what I want to go into now is a new project. If you do a blank project, we're gonna call this just like overview. Don't worry too much about this stuff, about like the presets. Like, this is nothing we have to concern ourselves about. For now, I'm just gonna do an HD like landscape. So landscapes are horizontal, portraits are up and down. So like, when you think of portrait, think of like a vertical portrait of like the Mona Lisa. Landscape, think of it as like a left and right portrait of, like, for example, a scenery. And then yeah, let's just create it. So this is what the Construct engine looks like. It's basically just an empty canvas, and you see this like dotted line here. So this basically, what this represents is, this is what the camera, think of it as a camera. Like, imagine me holding my phone up and I have a camera turned on. Like, this is what the camera is looking at. So like, the level may be this big, but the camera is only looking at this part of the screen. So if I were to like zoom in, this is what the camera cares about. The camera only cares about what's here. So anyway, other stuff that I should mention here is, oh wait, no, cancel. There's project properties. So the name of my project is called Overview, and it has a version number of 1. I can add like some simple stuff like like an ID, an email, an author, website. These are just like basic stuff like splash color. I don't think it really matters for now. There's margins. Show grid just shows like an actual grid. So if you want to be more precise with your like sprite design, you can do that. You can also snap your objects to the grid to make it easier. The grid size, you can also, like, you know, you can adjust the grid size if it's easier for you. So yeah, what else? For startup here and the project properties, the first, layout. So when you create a scene in Construct, scenes are called layouts. So this is the layout we're in. This is just very basic stuff. Viewport size is how big the camera is. Viewport fit. A lot of this stuff you don't really have to worry about right now. It's just very basic stuff. We're gonna go over here though to the right side of the screen, where it shows the project stuff. So Overview is the name of my project, and that can be named anything at all. And inside Overview we have multiple folders, and the folders are layouts. Like I said before, layouts are the levels. Layouts are the rooms. So for example, if you're playing a Nancy Drew game, Nancy Drew games might have lots of layouts. Like, let's say, for example, I'm playing Nancy Drew. Let's see, what's the most recent Nancy Drew game I played? I'm playing Secrets Can Kill. So let's say I'm playing Nancy Drew Secrets Can Kill, and I'm developing it. One of the layouts in Nancy Drew Secrets Can Kill can be called outside Maxine's Diner, and that's the name of the room. And then I'd have another one called, entrance, Maxine's Diner, and that's the entrance. And then I might have another layout called, Maxine's Diner, and then it might be called, like, I don't know, counter. And to even make it easier for myself, I might even like fix it, and I might call it Maxine's Diner, entrance. So what I'm doing, that's what layouts are. Layouts are basically different like rooms. So as you can see here, I have a room called Maxine outside Maxine's Diner. So like if we were gonna like load the game up, like this would be a screen. This would be like a screen of the outside of Maxine's Diner, and then the layout would have like the screen of the actual like diner outside, and it would show the the diner, and it would show like the hotspots where we can either go inside or out, or we can leave and go back to the map screen. But that would be one of it. And let's say we click to go inside. The next layout that would show would be the diner entrance. So we're inside, and we're like we can choose to, from the entrance, we can choose to go to like the countertop. We can choose to look at the menus. We can choose to go right towards like the arcade machines. That would be like the entrance area. Let's say, for example, we want to go talk to Daryl. We'll click Maxine's Diner Counter, which will bring us to the area where Daryl is. We're not talking to Daryl, but it just brings us to that area. So that's how layouts work. Layouts are just different like rooms that you're going to go and travel to, and that's really all they are. Event sheets are the code base behind the rooms. So, for example, outside Maxine's Diner, so let's go back outside to Maxine's Diner where it just shows like the outside of the game. If I'm outside Maxine's Diner, how does the game know that when I click on the door to go inside Maxine's Diner, that it takes me inside the diner to where the entrance area is? How does the game know to do that? Well, that is what an event sheet is for. Event sheets are basically just lists of instructions that tell the game, okay, Nancy is outside the diner, we need her to go inside the diner. So I'm gonna add a comment here just saying like, we need Nancy to go inside the diner. So that'll be code, and then that'll be code, like steps, go here. And that'll be like the steps for that. And then we need another comment, we need Nancy to go outside the diner. And then we have, the steps for that. So as you can see here, we have like, the comments that say like, okay, we need Nancy to go inside the diner if they click this. We also need Nancy to go outside the diner and back to the map screen if they do this. And that is how you would code like the logic all through event sheets. So it's very, very simple. And each event, you can have one event sheet for multiple scenes, or you can have multiple event sheets for their own scenes. So for example, when I call it event sheet 1, I could actually just call this outside Maxine's Diner. So you can the way it works is that you can have an event sheet that's unique to that specific room, like I'm doing now. So like Maxine outside, I can do that. As you can see here, each scene has their own like event sheet. That's totally fine. You could do that, and it's actually really organized if you do it that way, where you have like layout, event sheet, layout, event sheet, layout, event sheet. Or what you could do is you could even do something like this, where it's like, I don't know, you can have an event sheet called travel system, and then all these layouts use the travel system sheet, and that one event sheet basically handles all the traveling. So like, if I open this event sheet, then I could basically have every step in here telling me, okay, Nancy, she clicks here, go here. If she clicks here, go here. There's no right or wrong way to do it. for the sake of like, for the sake of easiness, I might just do this because it's cleaner. But there's no right or wrong way to do it. Scripts are basically like JavaScript files you can add to your game, but we're not going to worry about that because that's a whole other tutorial. We're not even going to worry about that at all. Object types are interesting. So when you load up the game, like, how does the game know what a mouse is? How does the game know what a keyboard is? How does the game know what a controller is? So objects are basically just assets that you want to add into your game. So for example, we're building a Nancy Drew spinoff. We need a mouse. So we're gonna create an object and call it a mouse. So here we go. We have a mouse. So now the game knows, like, oh my god, if that's a mouse. So when I launch the game will know immediately that we're using a mouse. I also need a keyboard because there are times in the game where I need a keyboard. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now the game is like, oh my god, we're playing with a mouse and keyboard. So that's how Construct 3 knows like what kind of game we're working with by the objects that are inside it. There's also different types of objects. For example, there's form controls like a button, a text input, sliders, progress bars. There's also sprites, which we'll be using a lot of, text, which might be using a lot of. Don't worry too much about all these other things. The game construct also supports gamepads and touch. So if I want to create a Nancy Drew spinoff that works with controllers, I can do that. And touchscreens too. So if I want to create like a Nancy Drew spinoff that's touchscreen entirely, we can do that. I can import audio objects like music, sound effects. I can import video. These I don't really use that frequently, but they're available. You can do like user media, game recorders, geolocation, if I want someone to know my location. There's even monetization, so if you want to do like mobile in-app purchases in your game, make people pay 99 cents for a Nancy Drew tip, you'll make a lot of money. There's also advanced stuff like, dates, drawing canvases, sharing to social media, Bluetooth. Is it necessary? No. There's even platform-specific stuff, so if you want like Facebook integration, Twitter, Game Center, Google Play, and so on and so forth, there's that as well. And then finally, there's web stuff. This I won't even worry about. The main things that you should worry about inside this engine that I personally think you shouldn't worry about are the inputs like keyboard and mouse, gamepad and touch, and then general stuff like sprites, text objects, buttons, simple stuff like that you're probably going to be using very frequently. So that's pretty much what objects are. They're just assets that the game needs in order for the game to know like what actually is going on. Families, I'm not sure what families are. I don't think I've ever had to use families before, but I'll like come back to this because I'm not exactly sure how families work. Timelines also, I'm not too familiar with timelines. I think timelines are basically like, if you want like a certain sequence of events to happen, you can make them happen along a timeline, but I think that's all there is to it. I don't think there's anything too intense with timelines. There's sounds. Sounds can be imported. Just a quick like tip though, if you are going to import a sound file, make sure it's the WAV sound effect format, WAV. You can do MP3 and stuff like that, but WAV is the best for Construct. So make sure you convert your sound effects to .wav extensions. Same with music. If you decide to import music, make sure it's the .wav extension. You can even import videos. I'm not sure what the extension should be for videos. I think I've had success with MP4s and stuff like that, but I'll have to check the website. You can even import fonts. So if you have a font file that you want to use for your game that's very specific to your game, you can import a custom font that you can download online. There's icons. These are icons for like, when you export your game and you have a desktop like icon, this is the icon that would show up on the desktop when you load the game. It also will be the icon in your browser if you decide to make it a web game, and so on and so forth. Files are basically like, files that aren't really files are basically just like external files. Like for example, an XML file. or a JSON file or a JavaScript file or just a plain text file. What makes files important is that you can incorporate files into your game if you would need them for whatever reason. Are they important? No. Unless you really need them for a specific purpose. But yeah, so that's pretty much how the project overview works. Once again, it's layouts, which are the scenes in your game, like outside Maxine's Diner. These are just like the little, these are just the rooms you'll be seeing in the game. Maxine's Diner entrance, Maxine's Diner counter, and so on and so forth. Event sheets are the programming like steps that you need to do in order to make the game work. So like, we have to have Nancy go inside the diner, outside the diner, and so on and so forth. Object types are the assets the game needs to know how to make the game work. Like, for example, we imported a keyboard, so the game is like, cool, keyboard, we got it. Mouse, keyboard, we got it. Sounds, music, and videos are just, different assets you can add to your game, like voiceovers, music, and so on and so forth. Custom fonts, and files. So it's pretty much, like the basic overview of how our assets will look when we load a game up. And then finally we have layers down here. Layers, I want you to think of layers like lasagna, or layers like a cake. Layer 0 means that everything is on the same layer. However, if I add a layer on top, imagine like... Okay, so like, if this is layer 0, like this little coaster here, if this is layer 0, if I decide to add a layer on top of it, this is how it'll look. It'll be a layer on top of the layer. So if this is layer 0, and I decide to put a layer on top of it, this is the layer on top of it. It must be lasagna on this channel. I know, right, Candy Girl? It has to be lasagna. But notice how I have a layer here, and the layer is like very intricate. Watch what happens when I add layer 1. It's a new design. So what happens to the old layer? We don't see it anymore. So basically, when you decide to if you decide to add layers, that's all layers are. Layer 0 is the base layer, and if you add a layer on top of it, it shows something different. If you add another layer on top of it, it shows something different. If you add another layer on top of it, it shows something different. Basically, that's all that layers are. They're just, it's like layers of a cake. And what makes layers important is that you might want to have layers persist between scenes. I'll give you a good example of when layering is important. For example, in Nancy Drew games, you know how in Nancy Drew games you can, the Nancy Drew like user interface? Think of like the old school Nancy Drew games. How there's there's like the scene on the top, and then at the bottom left there's the conversation box, and then on the right there's the inventory. Think of that in itself as just a layer, as like a simple layer. Like that would be a layer. So for example, like, I might call that layer 0, or the Nancy Drew old school, GUI. GUI stands for graphical user interface. That would be what you would be seeing. So that would be like, what color was it? It was like a lightish blue, greenish color, and it was the scene that you see. Like, it wouldn't be the actual scene. It would just be like the blue background, and then it would be like the black conversation box, and then the inventory block, and then like the scroll bars. Like that's all. Like if you're thinking like the old school Nancy Drew games, that's what like the GUI would be. And then layer 1 would be perhaps like the actual locations that you're clicking through. So like layer 1 then would be like, so we have the GUI on the first layer, and then on top of it we have the locations on top of it. So when you're clicking through the game, the locations might be nested on top of it, so that you're not seeing a black screen on that layer, but you're just seeing like the actual locations you're clicking through. And then another example could be, a layer on top of that could be the items. Because think about it, when you're playing a Nancy Drew game, the items don't go like under the location. They go on top of it. Because when you click an item in Nancy Drew games and you drag the item, or you click the item, the cursor becomes that item, and then you drag that item into your environment. So the items have to be above that layer. If that makes any sense. You might even rename this and call it like items, like journal, task list. Because in like modern Nancy Drew games, for example, the items, the journal, and the task list are all the highest layer. Like you'll have like the graph, you'll have like the user interface, you'll have the locations, and then occasionally you'll have the task list pop up and then go away, or the journal pop up and go away, or you'll have the items pop up and go away. So that's basically what layers are. They're just like, they're very, very important because they persist between scenes. So that way, like if I'm doing multiple scenes, like Maxine's diner, the entrance, the counter, you'll be able to keep those layers in between rooms. And I think there's a setting you can do here. Where is it? Visible, global. So if I make this layer global, then it'll persist between all the scenes. And then if you don't want it to be global, you just have to hit no. But yeah, if it's global, it'll stay on every scene regardless. If you don't want it to be shown on the scene, you just uncheck it. And it won't be visible, I think. I'm not 100% sure, I have to double check, but that's how you would make a layer not visible in the scene. But even if it is global. But yeah, so that's pretty much how the editor works on Construct. Every like project thing I have open shows up here, and I can close them all like this. It's pretty simple to close. That's just the template. And yeah, and we're kind of back to where we started. So as you can see, this is just a very basic overview of the Construct 3 game engine. Just to recap what we did tonight, I showed you all the website, how Construct 3 works. I showed you all the project properties, the overview of the project itself and how our files are going to look. And then I also showed you templates that you can look at where if you're going to explore game development by yourself, these are just little templates you can look at where you can open the projects, check it out, have some fun exploring these little projects, open them up, play with them. They're very fun to open because you can also copy the logic from these projects and paste them into your own projects. You can even take screenshots of them and then make your own. Over the coming weeks, we're going to be creating our own little game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at the end of each tutorial, what I'm probably going to do is upload each project somewhere where you can access them. So if you're a part of these tutorials, at the end of each tutorial, I will upload the projects to a shared drive where you can download these projects and play around with them yourself. So at the end of each stream, you'll have the opportunity to play around with them, to check them out, and even potentially add stuff to it. I might even assign homework if you want to learn for yourself, like how to do it. Construct 3 is free and it works entirely in a Chrome browser. Everything I'm doing right now is in a Chrome browser. So as long as you have a Chrome browser and you have an email address to sign up for Construct, you can use the free version. Everything you see here is included in the free version of this engine. If you want to do something for homework, if you actually are interested in doing some game development, my suggestion to you would be to sign up for Construct. Open Construct itself, look at the overview and try creating like your own layout and your own event sheet, but you have to do anything crazy with it. You missed your calling as a professor. I know, right? I've actually thought about going back to school and getting my master's in computer science just so that I could teach. I've really truly have thought about it. It's something I'm really thinking about. I don't know. I'm still debating it. But yeah, so if you are interested in doing something until the next development stream, use your email address, get Construct 3, use the free version of the game engine, and then maybe make a layout. And don't even do anything. Just make a layout, make it blank like this. And then, kind of just understand how this works, understand how scrolling works. If you hold control on your keyboard, you can zoom in and out while using the scroll wheel. Look at event sheets, but don't do anything crazy. Just, make some comments just for fun. Look at the objects. If you, double click, you can create an object. Look at some of the objects. But like I said, don't get too overwhelmed. Just keep it very very simple for yourself. Like, don't like get too overwhelmed with any of these things. That's the last thing I want you to do, is to be overwhelmed, because you know, a lot of what's going on right now might come across as overwhelming, and I really don't want you to feel that way. It might seem daunting, but trust me, as long as you continue watching streams and watching the videos, I'll try to make it as easy as possible. And if you have any questions at all during these streams or during the YouTube channel, because I will be uploading these to YouTube, you are more than welcome to reach out to me on Discord. I will be available if you have questions at all. You can reach out to me on Discord. We can hop into a voice channel. What I'm really hoping for is that I can get you all to a point where you can create your own Nancy Drew spinoff, and you can create your own detective mystery game where you can show, you can show off to your friends, show off to the community, and have fun. Like, how cool would it be to be able to create a game using the Construct engine, to export the game? If you go to menu, you can export the game. Where's the export button? And be able to export your game, for the web, or, for, Windows, for, Android or iOS. Like, you can even make your own, like, phone version of a Nancy Drew, like, spin-off. You can make a game right for the browser. You can make a game, like I said, for Windows, or for, and so on and so forth. There's a lot you can do with this. It's really cool. There's so much you can do. And this is what makes it really exciting for me to show you all, that you can make your own, like, spin-off Nancy Drew title, or your own spin-off detective mystery game, and you can utilize a lot of these, like, components and tools and be able to make something so cool and so effective. And you would probably impress a lot of people. So I'm excited because there's a lot that's in store, and I'm gonna try to keep it as basic as possible. And if there's anything you want to do or embellish to your game, you are more than welcome to do so. And please, like, show it off. Show us what you did. If you're following these streams, please show us how much progress you've made, or show us what you've learned. That's the beauty of code. That's the beauty of, like, being in a development kind of situation. There's no right or wrong answer. There is absolutely no right or wrong answer in these situations. It's either does it work or does it not work. That's basically is your game going to crash and break, or is it not? And that's basically what computer science is all about. That's basically what programming is all about. It's it's diving in, it's learning something new, it's diving into already made situations. That one kid, hello streamer, so I know you made a game, but is this what software you use for your mobile game? If so, how long did it take you? My game is still in development, by the way. I'm still creating it. This is the software I'm using to make my game. I originally was making it in Unity, and one of the reasons why I switched from Unity to Construct is because I really enjoy this engine a lot, and the community, the Construct 3 community, is just very tight-knit, and there's so much potential with the engine. And I really, really enjoy just how lightweight it is, and it's a very positive community out there. The developers on the Construct 3 Discord they're just so, like, they're all great people. Construct 3 was made in London. It's made in London, and it's a UK team. But they're they're such great people, and there's so much positivity surrounding them that it's such a blast to, like, hang out and, like, talk on their Discords and, like, just share stuff together. But anyway, this is the software that I'm using for my own personal game development, and it's fun. It's easy. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to use. And you don't have to know programming. If you do know programming, it's a plus. It's an asset for you, especially because you can hone some really cool stuff with it. But you don't have to know programming to use Construct. As long as you know how to get from point A to point B to point C for your steps and stuff, it's really it's not as bad as you would think. How does it work with, like, FPS and make sure the audio and video works with a delay or crashing? How does it work with, like, so I think what you're talking about is, like, memory management, and that depends on the user's, like, system. So if you're creating, like, for example, a Nancy Drew kind of game, that might not work the same as if you were making like a mobile game. So that's something you do have to think about when you're developing games. Since we're going to be creating a PC version of a game and it's not going to be mobile, our game should work across multiple computers and Macs. But there are settings you can do in the properties, for example, where you can, There's some advanced properties that you can look into, such as like GPU preference, high performance versus default versus low power. There's even like sprite sheet sizes where if I want my game's graphics to be the best of the best, I can raise it to 4096 instead of the default. I can, do some really intense stuff here to make it to make my game super powerful. I can even lower the settings if I want to make my game more like compatible with like older computers or older devices. But yeah, there's this construct definitely makes it easy to adjust these settings and make their games compatible with phones, with many multiple devices. I don't know if that answers your question, but I think it does. As far as like video delay and crashing and so on and so forth, Construct makes it really easy to fix and mess around with these settings, so that you can export your game for multiple systems. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm really excited because this is a new start to a new series of videos that I'm going to be doing on Twitch and on YouTube as well. And I'm going to be flexing my programmer muscles and try to like dumb down things to make it so that any person that's never looked at coding before or computer science in their lives can jump into my streams and be like, oh, I'm making my own Nancy Drew spinoff, or I'm making my own mystery game. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want people to see how fun it is to program games. I want people to see how fun it is to look at this and make a game and play a game, and to see how much creativity there is to making these kinds of experiences. What kind of game would be easier to set up, mobile or desktop, or even a console game? I think that comes down, that one kid, to what kind of game you're making. Know your audience, know your experience. I will say that if you're beginning and you're just starting off, I would say desktop is probably the best to start off with. If you're new to gaming and coding, I would start with a desk type of game, such as like a mouse and keyboard situation, or even just mouse. I think that would be the best scenario, especially for beginners. Do something comfortable like a mouse and keyboard game. And then once you have a lot more experience in those scenarios, then branch out to mobile, then branch out to console. Because the amount of programming and logic that you're going to have to account for when you start to include controllers and touch, it's like exponential. Like, for example, for our Nancy Drew game, we're using a mouse and keyboard. But if I want to include a controller, that means I'm going to have to triple all my logic to account for a input from a controller, an input from a mouse, and input from a keyboard. If I add touch to the mix, I'm going to have to account for controllers, mouse, touch, and keyboard. And as you can see, the more variables you add into the mix, the bigger in scope your game becomes. And then when you're developing it and building it out, you have to account for all these scenarios. If Nancy clicks on a door to open it, she'll open it. But what if it's a console game? Now Nancy's not just clicking on the door, she's pushing the A button to open the door. And then, if the mouse controls, the magnifying glass, but if you have a controller, the analog stick controls the magnifying glass. So now you have to create logic in your game that supports the analog stick moving the magnifying glass. And that changes the entire game completely, because now consoles don't have mice. Consoles don't have cursors. So if I want to make a game that supports a mouse, like per se, I have to create a mouse object that I have to create a mouse for that game, because consoles don't have mice. So that's a whole other project. That's a whole other situation. And it's a whole other situation to think about. Another thing to think about too is if it's touch. there is no cursors in touch. Like, phones don't have mice. So if I'm making a mobile game, I need to take out that whole entire concept. I need to rebuild the game from the ground up and think about the more natural way to navigate an environment. If Nancy is playing a game, if we're doing a first-person Nancy Drew mystery on a phone, we don't need the cursor. We're just using our finger to touch through environments. So is it easier to just touch to go forward, or should I have like a directional system somehow? So that all depends. So there's so much you have to think about when you're developing games, because as soon as you add that other layer, your game changes completely, and so does your design. It's like having like different boxes of Play-Doh, and you have red and green, but now you want to add another Play-Doh color and then another Play-Doh color, and you have all these colors, and then if you do it, if you combine the colors, you might have this big gloop of brown Play-Doh, and you're like, what happened? So you have to kind of like use the Play-Doh the right way, try to like gloop them together in the right way so you're not making brown Play-Doh. I don't even know why I'm bringing up Play-Doh as an example, but Play-Doh's in the stream tonight. But yeah, so that's pretty much like the recommendation I have. If you're making a game for the first time and you're a beginner, I recommend that you do a desktop game first with a mouse or a keyboard, or both mouse and keyboard, just because it's the easiest to start with. And yeah, that's pretty much like all I have to show for tonight. This was a very basic overview of the Construct 3 game engine, and I'm really excited to start making this Nancy Drew like spin-off. I don't know if I'm allowed to use Nancy Drew assets. So what I might end up doing is like I'll find like a 3D environment, or I might even take pictures outside my house, like at a forest preserve, and maybe use like real life pictures where I take a picture and then walk a little bit, and then take a picture and then walk a little bit, and try making like a real life like what version of a Nancy Drew type spin-off. Or what I might do is I might find like 3D environments online that are free, and then probably just do something like that. I haven't decided yet, but I am excited because the next stream that I'm going to be doing is going to be the navigation stream. So in the next video game development stream, I am going to be showing you all how to create a scene where you're moving from point A to point B, and you have hotspots, you have a cursor system, you have like, the opportunity to like have your cursor change into an arrow to go forward, your cursor turns into a U-turn to go backwards. So we're going to do all of that in the next video, in the next stream that I do. And I'm excited because, there's more than one way to do this. I'm not sure how Nancy Drew Games did this in the past. I really don't have access to their code base, so I have no idea how Nancy Drew Games did this in the past. I have two theories. Either one, they had a 3D environment and they were making Nancy move across a 3D environment and changing her X, Y, and Z coordinates. That's one idea that I had, which we can't really do in Construct. The other thing I think they did was that they made just each room its own scene. So I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to do this and how I'm going to show you all. I'm probably going to stick with the latter and make each room its own scene because it's easier. And it's very lightweight. It's okay if like there's 60 scenes for a game, that's totally fine. So I think I might do that, but we'll see. Anyway, this pretty much like concludes the game development stream. I'm gonna go back to the main Construct Web homepage just to show you all one more time. This is the Construct homepage. It's construct.net/en, which is just the English version of the site. And if you would like to download Construct, make sure to go to Try It Now, and then you can launch it, the free trial. You will have to make a Construct account. I think it just needs an email address, and that's really all there is to it. Password, email address. The pricing of Construct, just to show you all again, if you go to the view plans for individual, it's $16.49 a month, but it's minimum 1 month, no commitment. So it will expire after 1 month, unless you do either like probably the automatic like renewal, or if you do the $99 a year package. That's the one I do since I develop with Construct a lot. And then this shows you like everything you get. In my personal opinion, we're probably never going to go over the 50 events limit because we're going to do separate projects. So you're probably okay to get away with the free version of the game for now. If we do end up making a bigger game, you might have to use the personal edition. But for now, you should be okay with just the free trial version for now. I don't see any reason why you'd have to pay for now. For now. And then if you're a student, there is educational versions of the software as well. I think, at least. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so there's definitely opportunities here. I'm really excited, and this is going to be the start of a fun experience we're going to go through together, where we're going to make a full-blown point-and-click mystery game, even if it's just something really stupid and really simple, like, unlock the door and get the treasure and talk to the suspect. We're going to try to keep it very simple, but enough that, I can, get the ball rolling for any of you out there that really want to create your own mystery titles. So I'm really excited. Like I said before, this concludes the first part of my game development stream. If you have any questions at all, please consider reaching out to me in the Discord. You can reach out to me in the general chat or in the code-based chat that I have for Code Club. There's multiple ways you can reach out to me, which is through that. If it's your first time here, please consider dropping me a follow down below. I won't be doing video game streams every night because of the fact that this could be a lot to take in. I'm expecting people to probably watch these streams more than once, watch these VODs more than once. So if you're here for that reason, probably I might do these game dev streams probably either once or twice a week, just so that it gives you enough time to kind of like let the new information sink in and gives you time to maybe like do some research on your own. What I might do is like a Monday, Thursday, maybe like one day, Wednesday. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do, but that's probably what I'm going to do. And that gives you ample time to look into the engine yourself and see if you think this is something you want to get into. Game development is a tough experience, but it's also a very rewarding experience to see your creations come to life. If you ever in your life wanted to dabble in making your own video games, even something small, this is the time to try it. And just see where it takes you. You don't have to know any programming. You don't have to know anything crazy. And I think you might learn something new out of it and might have some fun with it. I hope you all have a great evening. This will be uploaded to YouTube, so you can rewatch this tutorial anytime you want. I am not going to rate anyone for this specific stream, so I'm just going to end. I hope you, though, all have a great evening. Once again, please reach out to me if you have any questions at all about the Construct engine, or if you have any questions at all about, where we're going to go with this, or if you have any questions about, or suggestions to me as how I can be a better teacher if I'm going too fast or too slow on some parts of things, or if there was something maybe that I missed, please let me know. I'm not expecting a crazy, viewership for this, because this is going to be like a part-to-part situation. But these will be on my YouTube channel. They will be available, and, you're more than welcome to rewatch the playlist. You're welcome to, ask me questions. And this is supposed to be a collaborative experience, but it's also can be an individual experience as well. If you're watching this after the fact, you are more than welcome to reach out to me, on my YouTube channel, my Instagram, ItalianGamerJoe, Facebook, my Twitch Discord, if it's linked in my Twitch community as well. So yeah, feel free to just check it out, have some fun. Tonight I will be streaming Nancy Drew Secrets Can Kill Remastered. So if you still have some time, it's 11:40 at night right now, but if you still have time to hang out, I will be streaming Nancy Drew Secrets Can Kill Remastered. Thank you, Candy Girl, for linking out the Discord. I really appreciate that, and hope you all have a great evening. I will see you all very shortly. I'm probably going to take a quick break and then come back and stream some good old Nancy Drew mystery solving. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. I have never tried teaching a video game development course before, so for me this is exciting, because for those of you that do decide that you want to watch the videos and try something, that'll be exciting for me to see if anything comes of it, or if even if it's just something new to try out. For me, this is exciting because like I said, I've never tried fully teaching a course like this before. I've trained employees at my job. I've trained employees on how to use our systems and stuff, but I've never actually taught a course like this. So I'm really excited to be able to do that for my community and get the opportunity to help people dip their toes into game development. So if you had some fun tonight, please let me know. If you have suggestions, also please let me know. Once again, this is the Italian Gamer Joe signing off, and see you all next time.